25 minutes before 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. There are some amazing people in this studio, and I say that because I've seen them in action, and I know what they have committed their lives to, and I've seen what they've done and how they've helped some children in our community who happen to have some issues, and special children, I guess is what you say. They are with Special Olympics, and at least one of these people is a celebrity. Do you know we were just talking to Clint Black's brother, and I didn't know Kevin Black until we just had the interview with him, but he and his brother got together with Ringo Starr and Paul McCartney, and he was name dropping throughout the whole interview. Yep. But it was for a good cause, because all of these celebrities got together to try to raise money to find a cure for Rett syndrome. And in the same way, Don Nottingham has taken his celebrity and allowed us all to have some fun. There's 2 days coming up, one on Friday, one on Saturday. We can go have dinner with some real true sports celebrities, and then on Saturday we can go play golf, and it's all for Special Olympics. And it's such an honor to say that these three people are our friends. So let me introduce them to you. Don Nottingham is in the studio. You know him as the human bowling ball. I used to hate saying that because I thought it was kind of an insult, but no, you love that name, right? Don is here. He was Super Bowl champion, and of course with the Miami Dolphins and some other teams. Maria Connie Roman is in. You're looking prettier every time I see you. I don't know what you're doing. Are you there?
She's gorgeous.
And then the guy who I think looks like Barry Manilow, Brandon Koch, is in the studio. Does anybody ever tell you that? You look like Barry Manilow.
Unfortunately, I must admit that I hear that quite often, that I resemble Barry Manilow.
Do you really?
So, yeah, I hear that.
Do you ever do the Copa? In the Copa.
You know, I thought about maybe a career change. If I could go be a celebrity impersonator, that I could go do Barry Manilow.
You could do that. You could do that.
You know,
if anybody remembers who Barry Manilow is, that's the only problem.
Right. I know some of the listeners that might not remember who he is, but I'm sure I could do well out at On Top of the World or The Villages.
Well, good morning to all of you. Thank you for coming in here.
Good morning, and Larry and Robin, thank you for having us all out this morning.
Now, Brendan, if I can just start with you real quickly.
Sure.
I saw you on the field during one of the Special Olympics event. It was a track and field event. And, I mean, you were like the coach, the cheerleader. You were everybody. You were out there for the kids.
Well, yes, I'm the sports director for Marion County Special Olympics, and I have to wear multiple hats. And
you had a cowboy hat that day.
I had a cowboy hat that day. That's kind of like my trademark. I'm easily recognizable out there on the field. I have to. There's a lot of responsibilities to put that together. So yeah, I had to wear a lot of hats. There was a lot of things to do that day.
How long have you been doing this?
I've been coaching for 10 years.
Is there a personal story behind how you ended up working with Special Olympics?
My sister is a Special Olympics athlete.
The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly just started playing.
I like that ringtone.
What was it now?
My sister is a Special Olympics athlete.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Have I met her? What's her name?
Krista.
Maybe I met her and just forget, huh?
I think you've met her. I'm pretty sure you have.
Okay.
She participates in a lot of sports. She's doing swimming and bowling right now.
Oh, really?
But she does a lot of other sports. She does equestrian and track and field. But that's how I got my start. She started participating in the 70s, and of course my parents knew better than to leave me home alone, so they would take me to the events.
Uh-huh.
And I just started helping out. You know, grab a mat, do this, Brandon, do that, Brandon, and it just evolved over the years to becoming a Class A volunteer and a coach and the sports director here in Marion County.
Wow, okay. The events are not free, and so we have to raise money for them, and that's why we're talking today, and that's why you're having this event Friday night. And Don, if it wasn't for you, I don't know how we would get all these celebrities together. It's kind of, once you hook up with a celebrity, I mean, you're the guy. I mean, you're the one that Maria hooked up with to make this all happen. How far back did you guys get together?
I guess this is the third year that I've been working with you, Maria. So actually Tracy Pick's the one that kind of recruited me into helping with the Special Olympics for the golf side, and it just kind of morphed into we wanted to try to find a way that we could could develop a sustaining stream of money, so that the real heroes in this thing are people like Brandon, all the coaches that volunteer their time for the kids, and of course the final product is the kids.
Right.
And I keep telling people that we have coming in for sponsors to, all you have to do one time is just pin one medal on one child, and then you'll be hooked. Because they light up like a Christmas tree. It's just the way it works.
So last time you were here, we weren't sure who the guests would be this Friday night, and I think that's a huge selling point. I don't know the guest's name, but you do, right? And it says NFL, MLB, right? NHL, PWA. I don't even know what PWA is.
No.
Professional wrestling.
Oh, that's wrestling. Okay.
Oh, cool.
So can you name names?
Well, we got from the hockey world, we got Wayne Cashman coming, who is one of my personal favorites. He was one of the big bad guys that used to enforce things on the ice, and not only was a heck of a player, he was a coach. He coached for the Boston Bruins.
The ice enforcer.
We've got we got Butch Benton, who played catcher for the Mets, is coming up. Catchers are my favorite people. They all have hands look like mine. That's kind of the way that goes. But we've got Dory Funk Jr., who's a professional wrestler.
Right.
Also runs a wrestling school here in town. He was one of my heroes when I was playing, and that was awesome. I got guys that I played ball with in Miami. Larry Seipel, who was, and when I got to Miami, he was a punter on Sunday, and the rest of the week he played everything from tight end to split end to running back, whatever we needed to get ready for that coming through, because sometimes you're a little nicked up. So Larry was a little unusual. He was a kicker, but he was also a football player in all senses of the words. Larry Ball is coming up. Larry's a super good friend of mine, and we've worked together for our NFL alumni events when I was in Broward County for probably 25 years.
Wow.
So we got a good bunch of guys. I got some guys that you might not know so well. I got William Rusty Russell coming. Russell, when he walks in the door, he just kind of looks like somebody put the lights out. Great big guy. He's got a heart as big as cotton pick in Montana. He's huge. And
I
he's
love
just
that
a great
quote.
guy.
A heart as big as cotton pick in Montana.
Yeah.
I got some guys that I really love and have a special place for, like Mike McBath is coming up. He played for the Bills, and that's my biggest claim to fame is no team I ever played on lost to the Bills.
Oh no.
That's where we have to kind of do it. I've got some older NFL guys. I got Tom Bland, who played for the Eagles back in their glory days.
Wow.
He's just an awesome guy. Very, very quiet and unassuming, but his stories are pretty awesome. I got a young guy that played in a Super Bowl with the Redskins named Reggie Branch, and he's the reason that I got out. When I got out, because they're all getting too dang big. Got another young guy named Tyrone Dye. We call him Ty Dye. His wife's name is Patty Dye, so it's Ty Dye and Pie Dye. They're fun. They're great people. They got personalities that are just unbelievable.
Wow.
And I think what we're in for at the Bonkers Comedy Club at the OBS on Friday night is going to be just one fantastic night of really good stories and just relaxation and enjoyment.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Now, for everybody listening who recognized those names and said, well, I want to get in on this, how could a guy like me get in on this? It's not a fortune. It's only $50 a ticket.
For $50, you're going to get fed. You're going to get outstanding adult beverages. You're going to get stories that you'll just never have a chance to hear again. These guys, these stories are coming from guys that were in the huddle and on the rink and in the one-on-one little spat fights with like a guy like Wayne Cashman. To me, it's just going to be a fun night that you can actually reminisce about weeks and months, and sometimes even years after it's over.
Anything inappropriate? Like, are we allowed to take photographs? Are we allowed to get autographs?
As soon as you walk in the front door, Maria has set up with our professional photographers. As soon as you walk in the front door, you're going to have a portrait-style picture made, and we're going to email that to you, and you decide whether you want to have it 8.5 by 11 or just stick it in your device.
That's a
It's
good
your
point.
choice.
Yeah, yeah.
You can grab any of the celebrities and take them up and get a picture. Just one-on-one pictures. That went over real well last year, so we're adding to that this year. We're going to have a few auction items. My old coach has agreed once again to give me one of his autographed footballs, and to me that's a special thing because the old coach is getting up there in years now. There's not going to be many more of those
name
available.
Him? What's his name?
Don Shula.
My son loves him.
Yeah. And he's still, even today, after being out of the game as long as he's still the winningest coach, period. And he was awesome to me. He was a great mentor, taught me a lot about life, taught me a lot about everything. And I'm a better man because I was lucky enough to wind up on one of his teams.
Wow.
It's kind of the way it works. But we'll have some silent auction items, smaller things. I have a Sherlock Holmes buff that has given us a little statue of Basil Rathbone.
Oh,
And I think that's
wow.
going to be cool. I read a lot of mysteries and stuff like that, so it's kind of interesting to me. So we're going to have stuff for anybody. I've got another one of our friends, our partners, that's given me a humidor with an array of what are considered awesome cigars. So if you're into that kind of thing, we'll have that.
Oh, how cool.
We've got a family portrait that's being offered by the probably one of the world-renowned portrait organizations.
Photographers, okay.
So that entails a 2-day stay in the hotel in West Palm Beach.
Wow, that's quite a portrait.
Go down
Wow.
and get a picture. It's worth at least $5,000. It's
Wow.
a huge thing.
Wow.
Sign me up.
And we got a bunch of little stuff that I think will make you happy. I've got a couple little golf items that we just walk around and look at it.
My
and
goodness.
Hopefully, just remember that when you show up at our event, every nickel you put on any piece of paper, everything you spend is going to stay here in Marion County for Special
That's
Olympics.
the beautiful
And
part,
I
yeah.
guarantee you that Brandon will make perfect use of that. We want to make our kids, I say kids, they're athletes,
Yeah.
but to me they're always going to be kids because that's what it's all about. I can never forget the way they light up when you pin a medal on them.
Absolutely.
Well, you are lighting up right now, Don,
Yeah, you sure
talking
are, yeah,
about them
yeah.
with the Special Olympics and all of your buddies that are getting together to support them because it really is phenomenal.
It's amazing though when I brought this up, we were all sitting around. A bunch of us were sitting around a table after an event in Orlando, and I mentioned to him that Cala is a little bit hard to get to. It's not as easy to get to, and I told him, would you guys come up there? And they said, well, who are you doing it for? And I said Special Olympics, and there wasn't a man at the table.
Oh, really?
That didn't say, I'm in.
Right away they knew.
I'm in. So Special Olympics has got a great name in my community, and I think that it's well deserved.
Oh, and that is to the credit of Maria, who's being really quiet today because we haven't kind of talked to you yet. It's our fault, you're being quiet. But it is true. I mean, you are the person who endeared us to this whole project. I mean, we knew right away you're somebody we could trust, and because so many times, when somebody's raising money, you don't know, but we figured it out,
Well, I just want to mention that all the support that we get from the community, it goes directly to our athletes, just like Don said. But we've progressed in the last 5 years. I think.
It wasn't that long ago. You didn't even have an office. So there was you were in limbo for a while, working out of your car, I think.
We're sort of making history, I guess, getting into an office that we could call a home for Special Olympics. For 43 years, we've been floating around different offices.
43, wow.
So, that's a history in the making, I guess.
Yeah.
So I just want to assure that our sponsors know that we've made a progress. We've added how many sports in the last 5 years.
Any statistics you can tell us? How many children typically participate in a Special Olympics event?
We're close to about 800 registered.
800? Wow.
Here in the county.
In Marion County.
Wow. And what are their ages? Is there a cutoff age?
Well, we start from age 8
Right.
to I mean, there's no limit as far as the age goes.
Right.
I think our oldest one is 70, 74, 75.
Yeah, I'm not sure but the oldest age goes like Maria said, there isn't a cutoff.
The cutoff, as far as the oldest one we can get.
Are the challenges? They're not all the same. Some of them are mental. Some of them are physical. Is that right?
Correct. We have like in our bowling, I think we had an increase of number of ramp bowlers, which are usually they're on wheelchair bound or more. We call this more severe disability, physical disability.
Okay.
Sometimes parents might be leery to sign their children up for the Special Olympics because they might think there's a huge cost involved.
There is no cost to the athletes, and the chaperone or the family that comes with the athletes. We're also having a lot of changes in our athletes program. We're doing sort of an inclusion sports where we unified with regular athletes. So we try to partner with,
Do you need any equipment? Do you need any shot puts or or catcher's mitts or anything like that?
Always.
Oh yes, we always need equipment. Any donation is always welcome. My dream would be to have a home facility where we could practice our athletics, our track and field, flag football, softball, shot put. I would like to have let's just coin it a home field where we could do everything.
Right.
I mean, obviously we're not going to be able to accommodate because we have 14 sports, equestrian and aquatics.
Too bad we didn't get that Yankee Stadium, and we could have asked them to have it be used. For that.
When that deal was going through,
that's what you were thinking, right?
That was in the back of my head.
Right.
Yes, if that could have happened, that would have been a fantastic. Of course, if that would have been donated.
And Anthony James just came in. You are an instrumental part of all this as well.
No, I just do whatever I can for these guys.
Yeah, well, you give him a meeting place. That's huge.
I call him my lifesaver.
And a nice meeting place at that. It's a beautiful meeting place. All right, we need to take a little break, and we'll be right back. If you want to help out Special Olympics, just keep listening. We'll give you the information. Brandon Koch is in the studio, as is Don Nottingham, as is Maria Roman, and now Anthony James joins us. We'll be right back. There's an event happening this Friday evening, an event happening Saturday on the golf course, and both events will raise money for Special Olympics. Marion County. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Mix of sun and clouds today with a shower thunderstorm in the afternoon. High of 86 to 88, and it's still a shower thunderstorm in the area tonight. Low 70 to 76. Partly sunny, a thunderstorm or two tomorrow with a high of 86 to 88. Couple thunderstorms in the area Wednesday, along with some sunshine and a high of 84 to 87. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Maggie Johnson.
Central Florida Eye Institute is the area's leader in laser vision correction. From high-definition refraction surgery and LASIK vision correction to custom cataract, glaucoma, and diabetic treatment, you can count on Dr. Crowley and his effective, friendly staff to provide you with the quality care you deserve. Call 352-237-8400 for an appointment or more information. That number again is 352-237-8400. Looking forward to service your vision needs.
If you're anything like I was, the thought of getting older was the last thing on your mind. But here we are. For me, it started slowly. The lack of energy, never being in the mood. And when I was, I could never perform at my best. I tried the pills and other treatments with minimal results, and all but given up on my sex life. Then I found the doctors at New Male Medical Center. Wow, they made a new male out of me. Feel like I'm 25 again. I have renewed vigor, so much more energy, and no longer worry about my performance. New Male treated me like my situation was one of a kind, with a custom treatment plan that really works. I feel great. They can create one for you too. It does not matter if you suffer from low testosterone, erectile dysfunction, or just want to last longer. New Male will help you.
Call New Male Medical Center today at 352-404-4779. 352-404-4779. That's 352-404-4779. It will change your life. 352-404-4779.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
You're listening to Florida State Football on WOCA, brought to you by the fine sponsorship of Ocala BMW Porsche, Tri-Eagle Sales and Distribution, and the Marion County Seminoles Club. We'd like to thank all our fine sponsors for all their contributions so that we can bring you Florida State Seminoles football. So once again, thanks to Ocala BMW Porsche, Tri-Eagle Sales, and the Marion County Seminole Club.
We are The Source, WOCA, news, talk, sports, and more.
All right, 5 minutes before 10 o'clock. Don Nottingham is in the studio from the Miami Dolphins, and of course he is here representing Special Olympics of Marion County. Anthony James is here from Homewood Suites. Maria Roman is here from Special Olympics, and Brandon Koch is here. He's the sports director for Special Olympics. And Don was telling me during the break that he wanted to make sure that we mentioned not only the vintage athletes, but the vintage Chevy truck that you 1972. You know, I had a 1970 Nova. I should have held on to it. What is this truck worth?
This truck is probably worth a minimum of $30,000. It's got a 420 horsepower V8 engine in it. It's been fully restored, and it's a 1972 Chevy Silverado, before the Silverados, but it's a short bed pickup, and it is gorgeous. And it'll be there on hole number 17. You got a chance Friday night to meet a bunch of vintage athletes, and then on Saturday you can go try to win yourself a vintage car.
And that's with a hole-in-one.
That is brought to us. That is brought to us by our partners at the Pumpkin Run.
Wow, I think if I hit a cow with that thing, I'd be fine.
Yeah.
I hit a cow with my car, and my car got totaled. All right, so let me see how good I did with the notes. Everything's going to be at Bonkers Comedy Club this Friday night. The events are this Friday, right? Tyrone Dye is going to be there. Am I saying these things right? Reggie Branch, Wayne Cashman, Butch Benton, Dory Funk Jr., Larry Seipel, of course, Don Nottingham, Larry Ball, William Rusty Russell, who has a heart bigger than cotton pick in Montana. Did I say that right? Mike McBath, Tom Bland, and Don Schuler. Don Schuler has a ball.
We've got an autographed Don Schuler ball that we had last year.
Yeah, okay, got it.
There'll be several auction items that are autographed memorabilia. We've got a Phil Mickelson golf piece that one of our friends has donated. Like I said, it's not meant to make you broke. It's meant to make you reach into your pocket and help us continue with the work that Brandon and Maria and all of our volunteer coaches do for all of the great athletes that we've got in this county.
Well, let me ask you this. As a celebrity, if you're eating in a nice restaurant, you're with a special guest or whatever, and here comes a fan of yours, you don't want to be bothered by them, right? This is an opportunity. $50, you can bother them. You can bother all the athletes you want.
It's meant to be a bother.
Yeah.
And even then, most of my friends are not going to be upset if a fan comes up to us in a restaurant. Just don't do it when I got a fork with a piece of steak on a head. Just, pick a time when there's at least a little lull in the conversation.
Yeah. When he's holding a spoon.
So sometimes, I was a utility guy. I tell kids, and I tell it with absolute sincerity, I tricked them for 8 years in the NFL. I was not supposed to be big enough. I was not supposed to be fast enough, and I wasn't supposed to be there. And I got 8 seasons credit.
Oh, I love that. I love that
so
story.
That's what I tell all the kids that I talk to. Don't you ever let anybody tell you what you can do and what you can't do. You look in the mirror every day and you say, I gave it my best shot. And that's what I feel like these Olympian kids do. They are just awesome.
Yeah, that is a great message.
I mean, look at it this way.
That's for everybody.
The motto says it all to me. Let me win, but if I cannot, let me be brave in the attempt. That is so powerful. I don't know who came up with that, but that is strong.
I love that. My goodness, we're out of time already. All right, so anybody want to give us a contact number, or how do we get the tickets?
Right.
What's it tell us how to get the tickets?
For tickets, please call 352-988-7998, or you could email us at SOFLMarionFR @gmail.com.
Okay, and we will make sure that gets repeated and gets on Facebook and everywhere else. Anthony, it was such a short visit. Thank you for coming in.
Oh, thank you.
Maria, thank you for all you're doing.
Well, thank you.
You're getting beautiful all the time. And Brandon, thank you for coming in here.
Thank you all for having us out, and thank you all to the volunteers and for the community's involvement and all their donations. We really appreciate it.
And I would show up and pretend you were Barry Manilow. You might raise money.
Well, let's just put that to the list. Add Barry Manilow to the celebrity.
Copacabana. It's going to be
and Don Nottingham,
wearing his
You
outfit.
are amazing,
Thank
Don.
you for what you're doing.
Amazing.
Oh, you guys are all outstanding. Thank you. We'll take a little break.
guys.
Go to the news, and we'll be right back.
The blaze north of San Francisco has consumed hundreds of buildings, many of them homes. Gusts of up to 30 miles an hour spread embers throughout the area, outpacing firefighting efforts. The California governor's office says the state's wildfires are the most volatile it has seen in at least a decade.
Fox Radio's Grinnell Scott. Official